Call your grandmother in New Boston. Okay, thank you. Tell her to call me in New Boston. Lisa DeBoer should call her grandmother in New Boston. Have you got that? Hello? Hello? Please call your grandmother. That's the message. Call me up, Lisa. Please telephone me. I want to talk with you. Don't talk this dark nonsense now. Call me straight. I want to talk with you about Tessie. You get this? Lisa, this is Omi. Please call me when you can. I'm very miserable and I need you. Please call me soon in Cleaver, in Concord, where I am, in New Boston. Call soon. Bye-bye. Lisa, stop talking nonsense. Call Omi. Lisa, call Omi as soon as you can. Goodbye. Lisa. I got you. Is that really you, Lisa? Lisa, answer me properly. Who is this? Lisa, who am I calling? All right, do that. Who's this? Do you have a cracker of some kind I could give her? Lisa? Don't be so mean. Lisa?
What about your old father, William?
The young man said, and your hair is becoming quite white, and yet your system is stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right? In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I fear it might injure the brain. But since I'm pretty sure I have none, I do it again and again. Do you know how it goes?
The sea was shining.
So, sea shining with all his might. He did his best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The sun was shining sulkily because she thought the moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had no business to be there after the day was done. It's very mean of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The walrus and the carpenter were walking hand in hand.
Not last night, but the night before, my grandma's daughter came knocking at the door. Omi moved out, so I moved back in, and I put color on everything. There are a lot of things I wish I didn't remember. I wish I didn't remember that she didn't really approve of the way I looked or what I did. I wish I didn't remember that when she called, I never answered the phone. I wish I didn't remember that in the middle of the night when she would come up, I would pretend to be asleep. And I wish I didn't remember all the people who were so thankful that I stayed with her for as long as I did. So I packed up Omi's things, all of her pictures and her secrets and the poetry she'd written. I like to think this poem was about my cousin Maria. You should not live alone, they said, my daughters and in-laws. Young women so confident. An old woman alone in a big house. Think of what could happen. robbers, murderers. You could fall down and nobody find you. But what of that? Nothing is so important today as this feeling of being alone, doing and eating what I like and when. Must I find some bright young thing who laughs and telephones and leaves things in strange places? This is what I dread. Lenore Friedrich traveled extensively, and on a trip to Switzerland in 1938, she gave birth to her daughter Matilda. She later wrote an article about the experience for the Atlantic Monthly, titled, "I Had a Baby." She lived in Cambridge for more than 60 years until moving to Madison to be with her daughter Matilda. I visited her there twice a year. Omi, remember that time you fell down the stairs, and I picked you up and I put you on the couch in the front room, and I put on some music, some Bach or some Haydn or something for you to listen to relax you, and I went to get you some ice and some aspirin, and when I came back, I asked you how you were doing, and you said fine, except for that awful music. Omi, do you remember that morning when I came downstairs and the house was freezing cold, and all the furniture in the front room had been rearranged? I asked you what had happened, and you said you didn't know. I didn't believe you. I asked you if you had rearranged the furniture, and you said you didn't know. It took me about 1 hour to realize that someone had come in through the back window and taken the oriental carpet. Omi, do you remember that night when Tassie was barking at 2 in the morning, and I came down to throttle her and you were gone? Remember how the girl from next door brought you back in your nightgown? Remember how you thought you had to go to tea at the president's house? Do you remember how angry I was? I've told that story so many times, but I always say that the police came, and that I thought that they thought that I was abusing you, because I was so angry. Do you remember, did the police come? Do you think that I abused you? You know what? About 5 years ago... What's the matter, sweetie? What's the matter? What's the matter? Do you want some water? After I came home from my twice-a-year visits to Omi, I would go through all my little bits of paper that I collected, notes from her that she had left me on the kitchen counter. Once there was a dead mouse wrapped up in a Kleenex, its tail sticking out, and a note in front that said, "Mouse. Lisa, I'm all in. Have gone to bed. You and Tassie must carry on. Buy some cookies and chocolate with this money. Thank you for all, Omi." Tassie and I have gone to bed. We had supper. Good night. Love, Lenore. At 1:30 I came down and nibbled some chocolate. Oh, so hungry when away from home. Love and good night, Omi. Dear parents, I awoke at 1:30 and found the house this cold, and I don't know what to do. What to do or where? Alas, what to do? Lisa, my time is nearly here. Thank you, my dear, for everything. I have been happy to have your love. I shall tell them in heaven how good you have been. Love always, Omi.
The time was called and the Lord said to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and seeding wax and cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot and why and whether pigs have wings.